All right, Shalom, Yasharala. Before we get started, we're going to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You sincere brothers out here that's pushing His word, and you sincere sisters that's listening and learning and following. May the choice of election be upon your house. And we're back with another video. And the title of this video will be called Famines, Plagues, and Earthquakes. Alright, famines, plagues, and earthquakes. Alright, and these are some of the end time signs that we will see, are going to see. And this is also, a news report. I was going to just do a news report, but I wanted to add a title. So this is some sort of news report because we will go into articles that I have pulled up. But I wanted a title, so famines, plagues, and earthquakes. You see, really, different type of major storms going on around the world. Well, not around, but in America. You see, because the Lord is visiting the world which He made, But these are some of the end time signs that we are seeing, and a lot more. All right, these aren't the only ones, but this is, some of them. Because, it says in Matthew 24, these are all the beginning of sorrows. I'll start with that. All right. Matthew 24. In verse 6 it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So these are just the beginning stages. We're in the beginning stages of, the end of the end of, well, we're in the how can I say this? These are the beginning of sorrows, but we're in the last of the last days. Because the last days really started when, our Lord and our Savior Yahweh Shah came on the scene. You see, now these are the beginning stages. Back then they were the beginning stages, but now this is really amping up. The beginning of sorrows, everything. Now we see all the prophecies are coming up. The mark of the beast, all right, the famine of the word. You see, great tribulation, Jacob's trouble, all right, World War III, and ultimately, our Lord Yahweh Shah returning, man. All right, and we're in that time. We're in that time of the days are getting more and more, evil. You see, so we're in these latter days, man. All right, with all these things we see, there's the beginning of sorrows, and it's gonna amp up more and more as we go on. And Lord willing, we're of the elect. We're hoping and praying. I'm hoping and praying. And doing everything we're supposed to be doing, to stay on the straight gate. But yeah, we read that. When we go back to that to get a point. But first, I want to go. I want to start with. Let's start with. Oh boy. We may go back to that and read it again because this is one point I want to get. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." Now, what is pestilence? Pestilence is, diseases, you see. And the one that everybody's talking about, let's see if we can get it over here. Where is that? So, Lockie, give me 1 second. So it's not over in this one. All right. Is it? Yep, that's right here. That it's called H5N1, the case of a bird flu. All right, and everybody's talking about it, and I think it happened in Texas to a Texas farmer, and then now they're saying a second person has caught it. Let's read one of these. Let's just get this. It's from the Hill. It says, and this is not medical information. All right, we're just going to the news and bringing out prophecy. Second case of bird flu in humans confirmed in a Michigan farmer. And this came out this was yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. 5/22/24. It says, I'll read this right here. A line of Holstein dairy cows feed through a fence at a dairy farm in Idaho on March 11, 2009. As of April 11, 2024, a strain of the highly pathogenic avian influenza, or HPAI, that has killed millions of wild birds in recent years, has been found in at least 24 dairy cow herds in 8 U.S. states: Texas, Kansas, New Mexico, Iowa, Ohio, Idaho, Michigan, and North Carolina, and South Dakota. Now we're going to read. It says a farm worker in Michigan is the second human to be infected with the current H5N1 bird flu virus, health officials said. The farm worker had mild symptoms and has since recovered, Michigan health officials said Wednesday. The virus has been circulating in dairy and poultry farms across the United States, the U.S., this spring, and the farm worker was in contact with dairy cattle presumed to be infected. The current health risk to the general public remains low, Natasha Bagder, whatever her name, Natasha, Michigan's chief medical executive, said in a statement. We have not seen signs of sustained human-to-human transmission at this point. This is exactly how public health is meant to work, in early detection and monitoring of new and emerging illnesses. According to the Centers for Disease Control Prevention (CDC), a nasal swab from the person tested negative for influenza in a state lab, but an eye swab from the patient was shipped to CDC and tested positive for influenza A virus, indicating an eye infection. Federal health officials told reporters Wednesday the case was detected because they were looking for it, and emphasized that farm workers remain at elevated risk. As exposures increase, the risk of additional cases among humans increases, they said. The Michigan farm worker was enrolled in the state's active monitoring program, but officials wouldn't say when the individual was tested or when the positive test was reported. The individual's close contacts are being tested as well. The CDC received the sample on Tuesday night and confirmed the results on Wednesday, and then reported the results to the state that same evening. CDC Principal Deputy Director Narav Shah said. He said it is notable that a nasal sample tested negative when an eye swab tested positive. That's reassuring, Shah told reporters. It reduces the likelihood. It does not eliminate, but it reduces the likelihood of respiratory route of transmission. The other thing that it underscores is the importance of PPE, personal protective equipment, barrier protection, in particular for the eyes. And you can read the rest of that, but that's a part of the pestilence. All right, this new virus they're talking about. All right, don't forget about this DX. Let's see if we can get that real quick. Let's see, Oh, they don't even bring it up anymore. But that could still be around. All right, but that bird flu, man. All right. That's part of the pestilence, you see. See, farm workers, bird flu infections are a problem for everyone. It says new human case of bird flu raises questions about H5N1 spread. So this is the new thing in quotes. We don't know what's, they could do something with this, or they might not. We never know. But there's one. See, let's go over here. Right here. Now, I don't know if this is true, but it popped up. It says WHO orders worldwide lockdowns as Australia reports first human bird flu case. You see, it says WHO has ordered governments to prepare to initiate harsh new lockdowns after Australia reported its first human case of bird flu on Wednesday. According to reports, authorities in Australia claim a child was infected with avian influenza in India and brought the disease to Australia now. Like I said, this could be true, it might not. You see, because why would a kid in India go to Australia? You see, but hey, like I said, could be true, couldn't be. Because there's a lot of fake news out here. Worldwide lockdowns. I don't see that happening right now, right? But this is the first confirmed human case of highly pathogenic avian influenza in Australia. Dr. Claire Looker, the state's chief health office, declared in a statement. It says it was the first instance of detection of the H5N1 strain in a person or an animal in the country. She added, the child experienced a severe infection but is no longer unwell and has made full recovery. The case in Victoria involves an H5N1 virus, but the strain is not the same as those responsible for outbreaks in the United States, Looker said. A farm worker in Texas tested positive for the virus earlier this year as it spread through the U.S. cattle herd. Australia is the only continent where animals have so far stayed free of the H5N1, virus. But authorities, I don't want to say that too much because I might take this video now, but authorities on Wednesday said a different strain of highly pathogenic bird flu had been detected at an egg farm near Melbourne. First laboratory tests showed that virus was an as yet identified H7 strain that probably came from the wild bird population and that had been seen in Australia before, said Graham Cook, Victoria's chief veterinary officer. And you can read the rest of this on your own. All right, so that's the part of the pestilence. And the famine is also gonna come. Because with that, they can do something to the chickens and stuff like that. So let's read it again. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So, pestilence is going to come. All right, people like back in 2020, they're going to do it again, some way, somehow. Well, the Lord's going to do it again, but he's going to put the spirit on these devils, all right, to bring it. So some way, somehow, hey, it's going to happen, man. And the famines, let's get into that, all right. We can get rid of that and slack it. These ads, but it's from the People's Voice. WEF insider reveals that new 911 will be a global famine. This was March 11th. This from this year. This is what, May? 2 months ago. It says the global elites are planning another false flag worse than 911, according to World Economic Forum insider who claims the systemic clock shook Slovakia. The systemic systemic shock caused by a devastating global famine will allow the elite to usher in mechanisms granting them tyrannical authority over humanity. It says governments in the WEF infiltrated European Union have been ordered to engage in war games which simulate the upcoming global food crisis, according to the insider, who warns that false flag will hit later in 2024, and when it hits, it will hit hard. It says preparations for the elite's false flag and power grab are underway. And if you have been paying attention, you can already see evidence of the deception everywhere you look. Globalist billionaires, including Mark Zuckerberg, are busy urgently building vast subterranean bunkers, and Elon Musk has warned something big is on the horizon. It remains to be seen if he understands the gravity of the situation. The Russia-Ukraine war and its impact on fertilizers and grain supplies, and the anti-WEF farmers' protests in Europe, which have disrupted supermarket supply chains, have laid the groundwork for the elites to capitalize on a perfect storm of global geopolitical tensions. As usual, the elite are wasting no time in organizing to unleash hell on humanity. A war game or preparedness exercise was held in Brussels last month that just so happened to envision a 2024 to 2025 food shortage in Europe that sparks a major worldwide famine. Bloomberg reported over 2 days in central Brussels last month, some 60 European Union and government officials, food security experts, industry representatives, and few journalists gathered to confront the possibility of something barely on the radar a few years ago, a full-blown food crisis. And like I said, this came out, all right, 2 months ago. This was March 11th. All right. I'll read a little bit more. It says, oh man, I hate these people's names. I'm just say P, all right, PM, a systems a systems modeler and game designer who helped put the UN conference war game together, told participants to expect a level of chaos and warned you may be confused at times and not have enough information. The elite learned their lesson from 911 and you see it, all right, highlighted, and the pandemic. They are not planning to allow independent media to expose their agenda or ordinary people to speak their mind on social media ever again. So censorship is also coming, right? But I'll read this last little bit. According to Bill Gates, the lessons learned strongly lead towards a much stronger stance against so-called misinformation than during the pandemic. How does this play out in the real world? It means there will be more censorship and suppression of free speech when the next false flag is rolled out. So famine is inevitable. It's on the way. But those will be, the Lord will keep his servants protected. He will have his servants eaten some type of way. Job 5:19, it says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yet in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So, in famine, the Lord's going to keep us, well, I ain't going to say us, but the Lord's going to keep his elect, those who he has chosen, or whoever they are, he's going to keep them protected. All right, and they will be, he said the servants will eat, and we hope and pray that, we have that number, man. All right, so, famine is on the way. So let's get this video. All right, the elder in New York, the main camp, Amawang Gabar, he posted, I believe it was a couple weeks ago, but let's watch it. All right, stay tuned.
Turn away from Europe to cater. Here's what we know. The elite plan to kick off the food shortage in Europe, which is historically one of the best fed regions in the whole world. When the dominoes begin to fall and the consequences for the rest of the world kick in, the globe will be plunged into a devastating famine that will make 9/11 and the COVID pandemic look like child's play. The elite have been building up to this moment since the dying days of the COVID pandemic. Bill Gates suddenly moved into farming, quickly becoming America's biggest landowner. And we've been dealing with a spate of food production fires across the US and Europe, placing stress on the supply chain. Here are 5 of the most disturbing future events outlined in detail by the global elite during their wargaming event in the heart of the EU last month. First, they're planning to engineer harvest failures. And so, it's 2025 and there are more harvest failures, the report states. They impact animal feed prices, which curbs livestock and fish production. Some ships carrying crops turn away from Europe to cater to higher bidders elsewhere. Anyone who's been listening to the protesting European farmers will understand that the upcoming famine is being engineered by the elites as we speak. The WEF's green agenda policies, adopted by EU states, are driving farmers out of business. Second, they're planning to cut palm oil exports and blame conspiracy theorists for the fallout. Asia's palm oil export limits are now reducing supplies of daily staples from margarine to bread. Allegations of corporate greed, disinformation and conspiracy theories are spreading. Of course, the elite are already planning to blame so-called conspiracy theorists and disinformation for the global food shortage. Third, they're planning to exacerbate the fertilizer shortage even more, causing grocery prices to skyrocket. The cost of fertilizers and energy needed to grow crops and keep glasshouses running soared in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. When they're not blaming so-called conspiracy theorists for the global famine, they're going to blame Putin, their favorite boogeyman. Fourth, they're planning to stoke widespread chaos in the streets. Things unravel further later in 2025, the report warns. Thieves are looting supermarkets, police struggle to contain riots spreading in cities, people in Germany can't find fish and meat at grocery stores, livestock farmers are going bankrupt. The global elite have earmarked 2025 for full societal breakdown, as common people starve to death and lash out at those who've subjected them to living in open-air prisons. Fifth, they are preparing to deal with widespread anger directed at the elites. Meanwhile, the public's focus shifts to profiteering by commodity traders. Small farms fall like dominoes, while attacks on immigrants begin to become more widespread. Is the EU a sinking ship? Someone asks in the video.
I don't know how it will play out in November, but what we know is that we will end up with many more unemployed.
You know, you can watch the rest of that, on your own. But, like it says, famine is inevitable. You see, so a famine is going to come. All right. Let's get Ezekiel. So Ezekiel, what is that? 14. And 13 it says, the word of the Lord Yahweh came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Lord Yahweh. So, the Lord is going to send a famine upon the land, and this is giving a scenario to Ezekiel. You see, it says those three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were who? They are the elect, man. You see, where in it they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Lord power. If I cause noisome beasts to pass through the land, and they spoil it, so that it be desolate, that no man may pass through because of the beast. Though these three men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters. They only shall be delivered, right? But the land shall be desolate, right? They only shall be delivered, right? Let's continue. It says, if I bring a sword upon that land, and say, sword, go through the land, so I cut off man and beast from it. Though these three men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, but they only shall be delivered themselves. Or if I send a pestilence into that land, and pour out my fury upon it in blood, to cut off from it man and beast, though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter, they shall deliver their own souls by their righteousness. You see? So only, that, and they represent the elect, man. The elect are the only ones who are going to be taken care of. So the Lord sends all these different scenarios, right? Which he will in these latter days. All right. The elect will only be delivered. They will only be saved by their righteousness, what they've done. You see, and like I said, we pray and hope we're of that number. So a famine is inevitable. Let's get 2nd Ezra 16 and 18. I'm starting at 17. Says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. See, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So famine is coming. And what a famine is, let's get a definition. All right. Fine, famine. All right.
Famine.
It says an extreme scarcity of food. The famine affected most of the country. All right. What is a simple definition of famine? An extreme shortage of food. A famine is defined as the most severe kind of hunger crisis. It is very rare. It is very rare, but when it does occur, it means that there is an extreme shortage of food and several children and adults within a certain area are dying of hunger on a daily basis. So, that's what it is. A famine is just, a shortage of a very, very scarce shortage of food, man. All right. So that's what a famine is, and it's coming. It's coming. You see. Let's go to Luke. Luke 21. Let me see. And Luke 21:11. And great earthquakes shall be in. Start at 10. Then he said unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. So famine is it's gonna happen, man, and it's gonna come. That's where we have to prepare ourselves spiritually and mentally. All right. I think it was another one I wanted. Might be it. That might be it on that. Yeah, I think that's it on that. Yep. So that's man. I'll put the link in the description, Lord willing, I remember. You see. So we got those. But let's go into these other articles I have. All right. Let's talk about this. And there's been a lot of storms happening. All right, it was just a storm over in a lot of tornadoes, a lot of thunderstorms, right? And that's the Lord. That's of the Lord, man. You see. Let's just get one of these. I'll just get this. All right, Texas town declares emergency after tornado flips cars, shreds roofs, and temple. It says significant damage was reported in central Texas after an EF2 ripped through the town of Temple on Wednesday, leaving a trail of destruction to homes and businesses that forced officials to declare an emergency and tell people to stay off roads. A supercell thunderstorm with at least one tornado tore across the region around 6:30 p.m. local time, triggering tornado warnings that sent residents scrambling to get to safety. Photos and videos from the impacted communities in Bell County, including the town of Belton, show massive trees that had been blown over across roads, vehicles heavily damaged and flipped over, and numerous buildings that suffered significant damage and destroyed roofs. Other videos show utility poles that had been heavily damaged by the strong winds and power lines stretched across roads, while a manufactured building was seen leaning on its side after being blown off its foundation during extreme weather. See, storms happening all over the place, man. Like we said, the Lord is risen the world which He made. You see, I think is it Houston? Storms all over the place, man. It was just let's go over here, Slovakia. NOAA issues the highest ever early forecast for the coming hurricane season. See? Scroll down here. I think this was the one I was looking for. Another human case of bird flu has been reported linked to dairy cows, you see? And what happened to the other ones? Had tornadoes. It's all good. We can go get it over here. Let's go to the news. See, tornadoes in Iowa. You know, we got brothers in Iowa. All right, I believe it's brothers in Iowa. The GMS Des Moines. Them brothers up there, you know, pray for them brothers. Hope they safe. All right. So this is of the Lord, man. All these tornadoes, all these, you know, storms coming, hurricanes. It's all of the Lord. Isaiah 29:6. Let's get that real fast. All right. It says, "Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire." See, so hey, that's all that is of the Lord, man. You know, people might say, "Oh, that's harp. That's the harp device." Okay, but who gave them that harp device? All right, the Most High, man. All right, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua gave them that. They were blessed with the sword. All right, they were blessed with the sword by who? Of course, Isaac, their father, which was, if you can understand it, you receive it, which was Yahushua. You see, so the Lord blessed them with that sword. So this is all of the Lord, man. Everything that's happening is of the Lord, and it's going to come to pass. You see, so this was famines, plagues, and earthquakes. You know, ultimately a news report. You know, so Lord is edifying to you brothers and sisters out there. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You sincere brothers out here that's pushing this word. Alright, you sincere sisters that's listening and learning. May the choice of election be upon your house. Alright. Lord is edifying. Until the next video. Shalom. Kwame Yasharala. Wa Abba Baba.